We are live.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vjeran Bušelić, and I'm professor at technical high schools and colleges in Zagreb. I finished study of mathematics and started working as programmer in 1801, in the era of punch cards and mainframe computers, long before PC. And I have worked for 30 years in IT industry. 13 of which in Microsoft Croatia. I was in charge of all technology, mainly to launch new products and put it in Croatian market, like Windows Office 97, Internet Explorer, Windows XP, all the Microsoft innovation at that time. And that's how I became an expert on putting the new technologies on market, not necessary forever, but to the next rising product. And when I was approached by the organizer and offered some remarkable people, you will see today, to moderate debates, AI versus tech professionals, the real threat or mirror alarm, I refused. Because I'm a teacher, I'm working with young people. I used to run career center for almost 10 years. I do not appreciate clickbait titles just to attract the audience. And debating pro and con, also important to so important phenomena as artificial intelligence, I believe it's not beneficial to the audience. So my terms were, okay, we can keep the title to attract some fish, but AI is here to stay, and we all have to understand its potential and find a way to cope and even profit from it. And that's all I have to say about that. The next step was to approach debaters to get their opinion, and they all backed me up. So we collectively decided to help you find your way in this unprecedented times with broad of possibilities with artificial intelligence. So who are those people who backed me up to blame for not having wirelessly debate? As advertised, they are Sasha Ceci, Simona Kustec, Heidi Chenan, and Quentin Lacointa. Each of them will properly introduce herself to express his opinion, but let me ask you, the audience, what do you think is most important thing about today's setup, these wonderful people? First, they are selected and grouped in a way to enlighten all perspectives we possibly can have on AI phenomena, technology, society, economy, business, and of course, individual. And the most important thing, in my opinion, is they are all very experienced. And you know why is that of most importance to me? Because it's why question we all need to answer ourselves, not what. You have Google, not how. You have YouTube. It's why that should be at the core of our interest. And as a great novelist, Simon Sinek says, you need to start with why to come to the essence, the very core. What are you doing? Why are you that doing? What is your purpose in life, in business, all the time? And however difficult it could be, only if you find out why, you can get proper answers. And why only experienced people can help you with your quest. Another great mindset to commencement speech to students of Stanford in '95. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. Only experienced people being there, done that, can connect the dots, understanding why something had happened. Are there any similarities? Can we make conclusions from the past and help us better understand the future AI is bringing to us? This was my setting the scene, my introduction notes, and during the panel, you are encouraged to ask as many questions as you can. You can pose them while we speak, and at the end, we have 10 minutes to answer all your questions because it's as important as our speech. And one final remark, exception, we need to keep in mind, both you or the audience, but the panelists, there will be no what answers, no what questions. As I mentioned before, no what is AI, what is generative AI type of questions. You can Google it in parallel, you have enough tabs open already, so let's concentrate on how is AI changing our society, economy, and business, and why is this happening now? Is it here to stay or just another clickbait as advertised? Okay, now I think we can start with introduction of the panelists, the area expertise, and the first question to all is AI here to stay, and why do you think so? And just one more thing, the second round, before answering your questions, will be divided in two parts with two teams talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of their respective areas. So, Sasha, please present yourself to the audience and tell them what do you think is here to stay. And you will have your 5 to 10 minutes with Simona later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. I'm Sasha Tseti. I work at the Ruđer Bošković Institute. I'm a physicist, but I also am a sort of, I don't know, science communicator, science blogger, and I was a host of a scientific show at the Croatian television for 10 years. And so I had this beautiful opportunity to not only talk, but also to present many people who are doing something related to artificial intelligence. I'm a physicist, but I'm also a great science fiction fan. So artificial intelligence, especially general artificial intelligence, is something that I really loved since my early age, and to my dissatisfactory, I wasn't really in this artificial intelligence during my university time and even most of my scientific career. It was basically only like everyone else using maybe some suggestions on my cell phone or some spell checking corrections in my papers. This is basically where I met this artificial intelligence in my normal life as a human and a scientist. However, I had also beautiful opportunity that my wife, who studied mathematics, she did her diploma thesis in artificial intelligence, so I read everything that she was writing, and it was really beautiful. I loved it, and I hoped somehow that it will explode. It's something that we all expected in 2001, like HAL 9000 from this beautiful book and crazy movie. But it didn't happen, and it didn't happen for quite some time. And really, we started seeing that there is something interesting going on with artificial intelligence, even not with these chess programs that won matches with Garry Kasparov, but even as late as 2016, I think, when there is this game Go, and there was it was thought that machine will never win human in this game because it's too complicated, strategies are too crazy, and it happened that machine did win, and it even more crazy, that the machine learned the game itself. And so this is something that I started to feel that, okay, this future that was with me through all my life is suddenly becoming reality. And it was scary. And I will talk later why it really scares me. But also as a scientist and as a science promoter, I had opportunity to speak with many people who are using advanced programs and now artificial intelligence in the development of new cures, and it's really amazing. It's really amazing. This will be so giant leap that I think this is why I think it's not just some hype like some other things were in past. Even more, even if it wasn't like that, even if there are no new cures or anything else, using artificial intelligence, Chat GPT, the few of these last instances of this program were so helpful, not just by finding spelling errors in our text, but more translating from one language to another. I'm a really great fan of science fiction, and I love the Hitchhiker's Guide Through the Galaxy. And there was this Babylonian fish which translates all the galactic languages from one to another. And these artificial intelligence programs are really capable of something really close to that. And if you remember the book, that was the proof that God doesn't exist, existence of this crazy creature. And so it was really, really cool that I think it's here to stay, and it will just get better, but we have to be a bit more careful with its development. And I would stop here. I hope this answers your question.
Okay, thank you. And Simona, maybe you can introduce yourself and say a little bit about your view of artificial intelligence as well.
Yes, thank you very much. Respectful audience, first of all, a big thanks for the invitation and the possibility to share some of my opinions and also experiences with the artificial intelligence from the field that is of, let me say, my profession. I work more than 20 years as a researcher and professor of political sciences at the State University here in Slovenia. But in between, I also had the opportunity to do the political science from the theory also in practice. So I was working, or actually serving as the deputy at the National Assembly of the Republic of Slovenia for 4 years in the time from 2014 to 2018. And then in the COVID time, exactly through the whole COVID period, I was also serving as the Minister for the Education, Science and Sport of the Republic of Slovenia. And also in that time, we were Slovenia leading the European Union. So I also served as the president of the European Union Councils for the research, education, sport and youth. And especially in this second part of my ministerial and EU related career, I was directly very much informed about the artificial intelligence and about the attitude that especially the political part is having towards the artificial intelligence. And at the same time, as a scientist as well, I was also addressing a lot of issues and questions to myself about this relation between democracy, that means the pure political science topic, and the use and the role of artificial intelligence in this regard. And as I'm going to address further on, I can just say at this point that I had a lot of concerns related to this question of the future of democracy going hand in hand with artificial intelligence. And relating also to Sasha's previous addressment, this additionally confirmed, the concerns were additionally confirmed when I was looking at this famous Oppenheimer movie that is showing us how at the end of the time, actually, the human character, the human passions can devastatingly influence the future of the civilization. And translating this concern into the question of the use of artificial intelligence and all the powers that it is bringing to us in the field of political world, yes, this actually activates on one side my concerns, but on the other side, not to be so dramatically pessimist, also a lot of opportunities if we are going to use it in a good way for the future enhancement of democracy and democratic character of our societies. Maybe so much at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Simona. We have two people directly from business, but they're both also doing a lot of things for young generation. Maybe Quentin, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. I'm also going to share my screen actually, like in a bit right now. Oop. Not sure if you can see it. I think it should be working. So yeah, I can introduce myself. I'm actually an entrepreneur. So I have like 3 companies, like 3 main ones, let's say. I have like today like 250 employees. Like they generate like 25 million euro turnover. 2 of those are actually like related to AI. Like the first one is Growth Tribe, like it's education company. So like what we do, like what we believe is actually about lifelong learning. You know, like you have done your university, like you have learned everything. What we have seen is that like today, actually, like you have to keep learning during your whole career, like if you want to stay relevant. And that's the mission of Growth Tribe. Like we focus on AI, on blockchain, so the technology of blockchain, and not so much like the crypto, but like the technology of blockchain and growth. And about this, I'm actually going to share with you like a video that we have created like in 2017. Like it's about like the world, like how it's evolving, like on what is AI, like what was happening already, like in 2017. That's like 6 years ago. Just want to share it with you, like so you can understand the vision that we had so far and where we stand right now, because actually like everything that we have done has been quite accurate so far. Let me. It's a small problem. Does it work? Maybe. Can you see my screen? Can you make like this if you see it, like the panelists?
If you're watching this, you're among the 3% of people that understand that the future of work is going to look very different from what it is now. So keep watching. Let's see where we're heading. It's also exciting, right? Siri will recognize your voice even if you're 5 meters away from your phone. That new chatbot feels totally real. Self-driving cars are no longer fiction. You can analyze your DNA. You tried flying that drone for the first time, and you're thinking of buying a smart speaker to make your life so much easier. A few years from now, and that's something like 3 years, not 30, artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, mass 3D printing, biotechnology, chatbots, virtual reality, deep learning, drones, augmented reality, smart objects will all be deeply enrooted in our everyday lives. Just like computers, phones, or electricity are for us today. Oh well, is this really gonna happen? And if it does, you'll adapt when the time comes, right? Life is good. You love your job. You've been working for this established company for a few years. You're comfortable in your position. You know what you're good at. People like you, and that last presentation you gave got you some amazing reactions. You're safe with your company. In the meantime, you see an article or two speculating on the future of jobs. McKinsey published a report stating that 45% of all current tasks could be automated with present technology. The World Economic Forum estimates that 33% of jobs in 2020 don't even exist yet. But what do they know, right? You've got time. Oh look, the supermarket just introduced self-cashier machine. You're at the airport checking in luggage. What the heck happened to all the real people at the check-in desk? Gone. Replaced by machines. But it's only the low-skilled jobs, right? Nope. Think again. In 2012, there were 150,000 humans working on Wall Street. 3 years later, automation has cut that number down to 100,000. That's 1/3 gone. But it's only the mathematical and scientific jobs, right? Nope. Think again. This Japanese insurance company, Fukuoka Mutual Life Insurance, is already replacing all its human insurance claim workers with an AI system that will handle customers more efficiently. See these articles? They're written by algorithms, and we can't tell the difference with human written content. And thinking of converting yourself to being an online poker player? Too late. There's an AI that can already beat humans at it. Most journalists, tax consultants, marketeers, technicians, knowledge workers, lawyers, even the person editing this video right now will to some extent have been impacted or automated by technology in a couple of years. And what have you been doing? Probably watching Netflix. And the problem is, the machines don't wait. And the machines, they don't watch Netflix. Technology has allowed the emergence of what we call exponential organizations. These are exponentially fast-growing companies that leverage technology and require less employees but more tech-savvy ones.
You will find that we are technology optimists. We believe that technology is a major driver of change in the world.
And as software continues to eat up the world, more companies are trying to replicate these exponential companies. Hire less people, but grow exponentially through technology. If you play your cards right, technology will make your work life and your life in general much, much better. The fact is that technology will actually remove boring, repetitive jobs from your way, but only if you understand the fundamentals. And you have no excuse not to do so. How can you stay relevant if you can't talk the lingo? How can you stay relevant if you can't execute? Can you talk tech? Can you talk API? Train yourself. Take your education in your own hands. Learn to code. Learn about behavioral psychology, automation tools, playing with data, user experiences. Be curious. It's time to build something. Your greatest credential in this new era is your output of stuff. Proof of your awesomeness. A website, a blog, a prototype, a simple data model. It's time to build cool stuff and showcase it. It's time to start learning. It's time to get shit done. It's time for your growth.
So, and that's mostly like what we have done like 6 years ago. Like other than this, like I have like a company that's called like Tracy, which we do like what we try to do is to automate like the business decision making like for like entrepreneurs. So like you don't have to rely on anyone like external, like you can actually like we will make the decision for your business for you. And that's more or less it for my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Quentin. Let's introduce the Heidi, and Heidi starts with her story about the good, the bad, and the ugly of artificial intelligence in business and economy, because it's a huge economic impact it will have. Heidi.
Thank you, Veran, and hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here. So at first I thought I'm going to be the last but not the least, but now also starting the second half as well. So my name is Heidi Chen, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of an AI startup called ERT, and I also serve as the president of Croatian Startup Association. My journey with AI started around 2016, the same year Sasha mentioned, because that's when we also realized there was something going on there. But maybe something peculiar about me is that I have absolutely no technical background. So when I first started dealing with artificial intelligence, I was completely baffled and had no idea what it was. So it consisted a lot from listening to others and then manically Googling to understand what the hell was it that they actually said. But some 6 years ago, then AI community in Croatia started really growing and gathering. We started the largest AI conference here in the region called AI to Future, which is actually taking place tomorrow and on Friday. And then as the years passed by, we also realized that we have a startup momentum going on here in Croatia, but unlike all other EU member states, Croatia didn't have a national startup organization. And then we realized that also not all startups are AI startups. So we started another association, which is called Cross Startup. And as of this year, because previously I was the VP of CroAI, so Croatian AI Association, but now I serve as the president of Croatian Startup Association, which has an event next week. So it's the time of events. And it's going to be a national Innovation Now Croatia in 4 cities in parallel. So those of you who are in Zagreb, Split, Rijeka, and Osijek, or anywhere nearby, please do join us there. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about AI itself. Let me just start the screen. And of course, as it always goes, technology when you need it. There it is. So a little bit like Quentin said, that they made a video about some predictions on AI from, 6 years ago now? Well, mine was a little bit later, and it was 2 years ago when I was holding a TEDx talk on bias in artificial intelligence, but we might discuss that in discussion later on. And that's when I kind of showed this slide, which showed that AI has already infiltrated, so to say, almost any industry that exists. And that was some 2 years ago. Fast forward to not even a year ago, what happened? Generative AI. So ChatGPT and other large language models, they have, I dare say, shaken the whole industry, and even the people who are very deeply in the know were surprised at the developments that are happening, and they have turned the industry, the whole AI, upside down a little bit. And there are a lot of things that are accelerating much faster than previously thought. So I'm going to give you a few overviews on the economic potential of artificial intelligence, where I have to say will shamelessly steal the data from McKinsey report, because there are really a lot of people have put a lot of effort in it. So the first thing they say that really generative AI is expected to bring a lot of value to the economy, to the business, and the estimates are about $2.6 trillion to $4.4 trillion annually across the globe. Just to put this in perspective, just the UK itself has a GDP of around $3 trillion. So this is a huge add in value. And of course, it will have a significant impact across all industry sectors, because I've already shown you it's AI in general was already existing everywhere, but there won't be a segment that won't be affected. And some of the biggest areas that are expecting the effect are banking, high tech, and life sciences. Because everyone is expecting to really get a lot of added value and a lot of added revenue from generative AI. But of course, it also has the potential to change the anatomy of work, because it is going to augment the capabilities of individuals, because it can automate a lot of our work that wasn't expected to happen before. So previously, it was expected that maybe AI could automate around 25% of our everyday tasks, but now with the advancements of large language models, that can go up to 60 or 70% of our everyday daily tasks. So imagine if you could free up your time and have the machine do some boring, repetitive stuff and the things that I think a lot of us don't like doing. And then we get the extra time for a lot of creativity and creative work. It is something that we should look forward to. But this also means that the transformation of the workforce is going to accelerate significantly, because, as I said before, it wasn't really expected for this change to happen so quickly. And that is something that has caught everyone off guard, because these large language models, because of the capability, so to say, to understand language, which was, I dare say, considered like a big frontier and a big hurdle before, have really changed the approach of the entire industry. And as you can see, the updated scenarios show that our workforce is going to be completely changed much sooner than expected. Of course, the productivity, as I mentioned, can really grow significantly, but because of the dramatic change, we're gonna need a lot of support from everyone, even educations, but also the companies themselves, to support workers as they shift activities, because with all the free time that I mentioned that might come up, we're gonna have to figure out how to find new things to do and shift our ways of working and everyday work life. And maybe last but not least, the era of generative AI really is just beginning, as I mentioned. So I've seen experts who are now discussing AI before November 2022 and after November 2022. So it is really something that if we are just discovering how to properly use and where to use it. Some people are really comparing it a little bit to the hardware and software, where everything so far has been a lot of investment and time in building hardware. But now with generative AI, we can build software that is really going to add a tremendous value. So yeah, everything is changing very, very quickly. But if you think that you are too late, or you are afraid, or you don't know what to expect, let me just share this image with you. And yes, that is me, because I just wanted to say that this little girl absolutely had no idea what she wanted to be when she grew up. And I can tell you that even now, several decades later, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So I have changed 3 industries so far. I have worked in the media, I have worked in digital marketing. I'm now in the world of technology and the world of artificial intelligence. I already shared with you that I'm not a technical person. I have absolutely no technical background whatsoever, but I'm the person now who understands the concepts of technology and tries to translate it to the regular population, as I'd like to say it. And there was a speaker on the panel before who kind of mentioned that there will also be a lot of jobs and positions and skills necessary that are not necessarily just technology related, because AI is a whole industry. It's not just technology. And as Quentin mentioned in his video mentioned, the skills right now that are really most important are the growth mindset, the willingness to learn and the willingness to adapt, because everything is changing so quickly, and the jobs that didn't exist just a year ago exist now, and the change will happen. So you have plenty of time for everything. Don't be scared, just be willing to be flexible and to adapt to the future that is coming, and that I find exciting. So thank you so much from me, and Bieran, off to you.
Yeah, we will have you back after you decide what would be your next step. Maybe you will have 5 minutes to decide. And I think Quentin, he really knows what he's going to be, having 3 different jobs. So maybe can you have some other points of view to complement Heidi on this economy and business changes, which are so quick and so big? It's really difficult to predict what is happening next. Quentin?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I can can go now. I actually totally agree with Heidi. The amount of opportunities that are open today are insanely huge. It's a great time to actually start a career today, because if you look at what I'm doing today, I manage 3 companies. It will never have been possible 10 years ago, without this kind of technology. It's something that's extremely impressive, the amount of things that you can actually do today, the speed that you can actually do it. If you look at it, so we showed you just a little before, 5 years ago, the video that we published, that was 5 years ago. Today, we are way beyond this. We're actually way further than what we predicted. As Heidi said, we actually everything goes way faster. If you will have asked 5 years ago, to me or to anyone in my team, could we do this this generative AI, will it be so accurate today? I will not have said yes. There is no way. That's extremely surprising. So can you imagine what's going to be in the next 5 years? Today, we saw that 5 years ago, we managed to have a glance of what's going to happen. Imagine today, if you start your career, what's going to be possible in 5 years? It is the very beginning of generative AI. It is the very beginning of AI today. It's actually the most exciting things here. I'm going to show you a bit of things, because I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm someone who likes to build stuff. Actually, if you talk to my wife, she hates me for this. Every single week I have a new ideas, And actually, the funny thing is that every single week, actually, it is super possible to make it happen today. And that's something very good. I'm going to talk to you today, what are the strengths if you start a company, if you're starting the business today. The reality is 70% of the companies that are going to open today, the shop in the street, the website that you just saw, are going to go bankrupt in the next 5 years. That's basically what happens here. The reason why is there is so many things that are happening, all the strengths outside of the companies, the inflation, the regulation, everything that's changing there makes it totally impossible for very small companies to manage and to control everything. It's extremely hard today if you start a business, that in 1 year you have so many things are going to change. If you have a restaurant today, you are going to pay 3 times the price that you use for the electricity. If you manage your same business the same way that you used to do 5 years ago, it's going to be extremely hard for you. And that's the good side of actually AI. That's today, it's possible to actually adapt yourself to the reality, to the new reality. The machine, as we say, Sasha said it before, they became better than they beat Go, players. That's basically what happens a couple of years ago. That's what we are working on with Trizy, actually, what we are doing. We believe on what is happening today, that machines and AI can take better business decisions than you. You have lots of decisions that actually as an entrepreneur, as working for small organizations, or in your job, that's you will be always better. Creativity is very hard to beat on everything. However, a lot of tasks, for example, to know if you need to negotiate the prices with your suppliers, to know if you should negotiate between different electricity suppliers, for example, if you need to hire people, if you need to fire people, these kind of things, a machine have the ability to process way more data and is able to talk to you today, to communicate with humans, to actually help you to take the better decisions. And that's what today is possible, the good side of AI. Today, a lot of services and companies are building things in order to react at the same speed as the world how it's going today. There's 8 billion people in the planet today. It's impossible for humans in order to keep up with the amount of new information that happens every day. If AI didn't exist, there will be no entrepreneurships. There will only be huge organizations that have the structure and the possibility to have that. And that's the very good side. That's what we have here. But the bad side is that, of course, everything that you have learned so far is going to change. Everything is going way faster. Here, if you think that you want to keep watch Netflix every weekend, that might be a little bit of an issue if you want to keep your career, to grow during your whole life. To have the growth mindset is something that is even more important what it used to be today. This chart here represents similar to what Sasha said before, the kind of task that how long it took for the machine to beat the humans to do these kind of tasks. You can see that it gets more and more rapidly, for example, image recognition, in 2008, it took maybe 5 years, in order to beat the human. Today, if you look at code generation, in less than 1 year, actually, the code generation is getting better done by a machine than by humans. That's something that actually is extremely interesting. What it means, does it mean that all the jobs are going to be over and that we're going to die? No, the productivity is going to be way higher. Today, if you look at the new job, you have had an article in Forbes that's a prompt engineer. So a prompt engineer is people that works on making the better prompts on ChatGPT. So it's the people that are going to find the best way to talk to the machine. They are earning more than $300,000 per year today. I mean, that's of course the headline. So in reality, probably the more people you will have, the less. But all of those works, new jobs that are going on the market. If you start to learn and if you keep on learning, that's the thing that actually you can always be relevant there. And that's what's coming back to my other company, Growth Tribe, the video that we say, be ready for lifelong learnings. Today, if you just learn the skill at university, the university is the starting point. That's gives you all the basis, on everything. You have to keep learning. If you look at universities, most of them today, give classes to adults. That was not the case 50 years ago, today, you have lifelong learning is something that is happening every day. Today, you can learn for free, you can learn every day. That's the beauty of it. It becomes so cheap for people to generate and to create content that actually the availability and the accessibility of it is actually extremely cheap for people. So yeah, that's what all the landscape of education company today that you can find. You have university, you have a corporate training company, you have everything that you can do. You can learn it here online. And the good thing with AI is that the ability, the availability is higher and higher here. And that's my point of view on today's world, on the AI impact on the education in the world today.
Thank you, Quentin. I see a lot of pros and cons, good, the bad, and the ugly sides, but we all think and believe we should learn it to adapt, to live with AI and integrate it in a society. So let's now, from this economy part and business, let's switch to wider society, to democracy, to governments, to things Simona said to us, and then we at the end we can finish with Sasha with his science fiction stories and the view what will happen next. But Simona, can you tell us something about what is society doing to control, to adapt, to regulate? Because even AI makers, they sent a 6 month, they wanted a 6 months pause in development of AI. So even they are not sure how things are going in society. So Simona, please give us the largest view.
Yes, sorry. It's digitalization that sometimes is doing a couple of problems. But yes, first of all, what I want to say is that compared to the economic sector that was very nicely described now by Heidi and sorry, the other participant, the state and the organization of the state is very, very different. Actually, it is not a structure that will open up the opportunities and the possibilities for everything that you imagine in your head, in your brains. But on the other side, or even the opposite of that, sometimes the state is regulating. It is kind of burdening us, also our ideas, our ambitions, because of the fact that its primary role is that it needs to take care of all of us, meaning that it needs to respect all the differences, also the differences among us, and at least on the paper, it should approach in a way that, first of all, actually it helps, or that it is taking care of the weakest link in the chain of the people and the society that the state is working for. And the state, with all its institutions and the processes that it is undertaking, needs to take care of everybody and needs to protect its people. And in this sense, the protection sometimes also means that it needs to kind of set the borders, make some regulation, and also use the force with the aim, because of the fact that it needs to guarantee the safety and the equal opportunities for all of us. And in this sense, taking this into the consideration, also the political scientists are very much kind of focusing into a different kind of elements of democracy that, due to these reasons, the state and its institutions need to respect. And in this sense, it will quite frequently, this will quite frequently means that the state actually is, it's kind of a slowing down the whole process of the artificial intelligence potentials, because it needs to be aware of the potential threats that it can bring to their people and also to the state as the main authority in one system in general. But when we are speaking about these elementary elements of democracy, meaning that democracy actually is the tool by which the people are saying who is going to represent them in the name of the state through the elections every 4 or 5 years, and they are proceeding their kind of a vision of the future and the programs, how the state and the whole system, including the economic system and the science, the research space, is expecting to evolve further on. In this sense, actually, the elections and the participation of the people is the main entrance ticket for everybody that are then going to decide and focus the decision-making processes for the near future. And from the artificial intelligence perspective, this election process can be the first example of the opportunities for democracy through the electronic voting. We don't have many countries so far in the world that have this opportunity to go to the elections online. So this is definitely one of the very good positive opportunity for the future of democracy. But again, respecting all the potential threats and manipulations that can appear potentially, if we are doing this electronically and not, like checking and implementing it physically. So this is the first and elementary concern. Then when it comes to the rule of law, of course, if the state has all these powers that I was describing before that, then this means that the state also needs to be regulated by the laws, by the regulation itself. And speaking from this perspective, actually artificial intelligence can easier these administrative regulation processes that needs to be implemented and needs to be done when the legislation and the legal acts in general have been preparing, writing down, and so on. While on the other side, again, artificial intelligence can also enable the entrance of some of the gray zones or some kind of a non-defined elements. If you are clever and you can program these parts, and that the human beings, that means the lawyers, are not going to check what is really written on the paper, then you can have also here the potential space for the manipulation. Human rights, of course, is the third very, very important, essential element of democracy. Definitely artificial intelligence have a lot of tools that can strengthen the protection of human rights. But only if we are going to be aware also of our obligations. Not only that we are going to approach this is something that is my right, this is something that I need, this you need to kind of take care about for me, for my interest, but that we are aware also of the other part of the coin, so that we also have some obligations at the same time. And if we are going to be aware of that, then we will be able much easier to avoid the potential violations that artificial intelligence can also bring with the additional inequalities. Because those people who are clever, who are brave, like, for example, Heidi, they will approach like very, very powerfully in trying to try everything to be successful. While some others, maybe because of their character or some other conditions, will not do that. And the state will always need to take care about the equilibrium of the equalities, of the equal opportunities for all of us at the same time. So here I see kind of a threat from this dimension of democracy. Economic freedom, it was very much already exposed, but again, the main responsibility of the state here is to take care of the wealth of the whole population, not only of the successful ones. So it needs to take some measures that will kind of enable the potentials of all different to be as equal as possible. Then the freedoms in the social world and especially through the media world. Here, again, wider opportunities in a positive manner, social media, new tools for the communication, for everything, but at the same time, parallel to this, at the same time, a lot of potentials for fake news, for hate speech, for trolls, for something that is not good. So again, if we will find the measures, how to control this, how to regulate the negative parts, then definitely yes, but under this circumstance and condition. And at the end, and for me personally, I think that this is the most important dimension of democracy that we need to address when we are speaking about the role of artificial intelligence in it, It's the question of the values and of the ethics of us as individuals and the society in general. So if we are going to approach in the use of artificial intelligence in a way to see it as a positive tool for the further steps of our civilizational growth, then definitely yes. But on the other side, if we are going to approach only through our interests, interests related to power, interests related to the risks, to the crimes like cyber crimes, like nuclear crime, and so on, then we are not on a good way. And definitely this strive for safety and freedom also in relation to the use of artificial intelligence for the sake of democracy and the people in general is definitely the one that needs to be of the main concern.
Okay, thank you, Simona. I'm also a more technical person, and I never look to this kind of pictures. And yeah, you totally open my mind, and I hope Sasha can round it up. Finish. We started with technology. Technology is bringing us all excitement, businesses, economy blooming, governments need to cut it out, and we are rounding this much faster than everything else. So Sasha, very easy question: how all this can end? Or what can we do?
It can end in a disaster, of course, and hopefully it won't, but we are not really great learners from the past.
Oh, shit.
What we learned from the past, or we didn't really, is that when productivity rises, the salaries don't really. And this is what happened in like last 30 or 40 years. And we see, so when Heidi is talking about freeing our time, we're not really freeing our time. Maybe we are, for example, I can tell you, I mean, I wouldn't say that scientific work is really creative, but it is. But it's not, you know, like artist or something like this. So you have some periods of time where you're really thinking hard about some problems, and then you have some parts of your day when you're really doing some repetitive things. And these repetitive things, what is the word? I mean, you are doing this to, it helps you, you know, be more creative. And if you take away my repetitive tasks and just leave me this hard thinking, maybe I will not really love this job as much as I like it now. And it's not just for me, it's for many other people. And we have serious problems with this because we are, for example, you have this tenure system in science. Tenure means that at some point you will remain a scientist with a scientist paycheck, whatever you do, really. And the idea behind this is really that experienced scientists can help a society move forward. So they will give lectures even for free. They will write books. They will talk with people, do scientific shows on television, or like Carl Sagan did Cosmos or something like this. Today, they're removing this and they want us to be more, you know, constantly competing. And if you're constantly competing, you cannot help society. And this is something which will definitely screw society in a long term. Is this the real idea of this thing, or is just, you know, some side effect? I don't know. but it's happening, and we are not doing anything to stop it. Another thing that is really interesting is when we talk about this new technology, we are talking many people I heard talk about, you know, in 19th century you had this, you know, people producing some stuff, and then you have machinery, and they can produce, machines can produce more. We have the similar situation here, and the question was what happened with people. And what happened with people? People said, okay guys, we would like to share with the owners of these machines something, because we are workers. And now today we call them Luddites, because they were like, they wanted to stop progress. No, they didn't. They just wanted their share. And the owners said, no, you won't get it. And this is what is happening now. And the only force, and I loved when Simona said that we should use the force, and it wasn't in a Star Wars Jedi Order way probably, but maybe we need something like this, because the only force that can stop this destructive and really ugly behavior is government. And what is, how do we, as modern people, I mean, I'm a member even in some governing board of trade union of scientists. So basically I am for the unions. And people today think unions are, 19th century, we don't need them. And government, they are just regulating stuff. They want to stop the progress. We don't need it, really. You know, we should. And what will happen when we have this beautiful progress? Beautiful thing would happen, because new jobs will be created. Okay, let's observe the history. We had this .com, explosion, but after that we had the social networks. Social networks produced huge incomes for their owners, and they were supposed to produce the jobs. So what are the jobs that social networks need? I mean, you need to stop hate speech. You need to stop harassment. You need to stop the people forcing other people to commit suicide. You need to stop election frauds. You need to stop a whole area of things. So what the owners of social networks did? Nothing. When the countries, the government wanted to regulate them, they paid. So the regulation was stopped. And even more, they paid to the media to lie about importance of this regulating. No, it's not. They are stopping our progress. This is horrible. How can you stop this progress? It was amazing. And it was horrible. It was horrible. If you observe what happened in the States, it was horrible. And they're somehow making some progress in this English-speaking, for example, Facebook. But even in the States, for Korean or Spanish-speaking Facebook, they don't employ people to stop hate speech, to stop harassment. Government should force them, use the force, and it won't, because they are paid. And it happens all over the world. And now what we are having now, we are having even stronger force. We are having artificial intelligence technologies, which are scary. It's so beautiful. I told you, I mean, for scientific purposes, it's like magic. It's a miracle. However, if you have an election today and you have a deep fake of either the guy who will normally would get this won on this election, or the guy who is the main opposition doing something really ugly, and people will get frustrated. People will get enraged, and they will either stop going to the polls, or they will massively go there. And you will change the outcome of elections. You will change the core of democracy, the opinion of people in matter of seconds. This is horrific. No nuclear bomb was ever so devastating. No, like this is. So the question is, what do we do? Because I don't hear any answers to this question. And I would love to hear some. And I would like to hear some debates about it, because I really love technology. I really love this everything about artificial intelligence. I hope that I will live to see general artificial intelligence, but I'm afraid that we as people are simply not educated enough. We're not aware of our fallacies. I'm talking with people constantly on a daily basis who think that advertising is not affecting them. Poor people, poor stupid people, uneducated and so full of themselves. I don't know, guys. It's really important to tackle these things, and I don't see anyone tackling it. So hopefully, maybe you have some ideas, and maybe I'm uneducated, so you will educate me in the following time. And I think this is my 10 minutes that Vjeran gave me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. I think I do have some ideas. I'm appointed to have some ideas, and that's what I'm doing last 10 years. Motivating, not educating, but motivating young people to educate themselves, and also to understand the world, and to help them to change the world accordingly. I would like each of you to give your own personal advice to them. I think we will start with you, Sasha, because you are also doing something good, so you can't be...
Also, like this was bad. Okay.
No, this was not bad. Sometimes it's good to have a bad example. No, I'm joking. Sorry. No, so please tell us, what would you suggest to them? Because
the quite similar thing to Simona, because what Heidi and Quentin are telling us, this is something that it's not well known. I mean, I love to hear it, and I loved to listen to them today, and and this should go on as well. However, the things that Simona is telling us is something that is not really popular. People don't want to hear it. Government, these politicians, they're all corrupt or stupid or something. They are horrible. I don't want to waste my time listening. But this is, I mean, we are a society. This is what people need to understand and learning. We have this citizenship educations, or we should have, and we don't have it. So basically, to learn how to participate in a constructive, even enjoyable way in a society. This is some education that I would love for people to have, and to understand our psychology, our motivation, the way that modern technological companies using psychology against us. So we need to learn this to understand, and then we can enjoy this abuse of them because they are doing it in really enjoyable way. But still, to understand when we have to draw the line and say, okay, guys, that's it. Now we should be more serious about this. This is educating, and of course, then you can have this test with one single question. Do you think it's important to go to elections? And if they say no, then they're failed. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. So Simona, it's up to you. Do you need some more young, educated people in a political arena you are trying to develop?
I think that education nowadays, and especially in these circumstances, also because of the artificial intelligence, is a lifelong learning process. That means that it is not only in this kind of the beginning years of our lives that we need to be educated, but all the time. And especially through so-called skills and competencies in the active part of our working life as well. And it is definitely the moment now to additionally educate everybody about the artificial intelligence, about all the pros and cons that it is bringing with it. And like the opposite of the majority of also our professionals who are saying now we need to expand the number of hours and courses related to informatics in our educational system. I don't agree with that, because, you know, like our young people, except of the certain share of them, of course, are not interested in this computing, writing, in technology as such, but they need to be educated in a way how to live through all these digital skills in all different occasions of their lives. How to use the digital when they are learning the languages, how to use the digital knowledge when they are kind of, I don't know, learning the history, chemistry, mathematics, and so on and so forth. So they need this. And also the adults, we do need this type of knowledge right now. For example, let me take my personal example. I got a new mobile phone, but I'm used to use it only for, you know, like calling my family, writing some text messages and looking at my email. But when I was going through what this mobile phone all kind of allows me, it was terrifying for me. But it wouldn't be if I would have the appropriate way to get informed about all the potentials and to be able to test them, to understand everything. But I'm not, and and at the same time, I don't feel myself as being completely stupid person. But we need to, you know, like we need to go on at the same time with the awareness that we need to get additional knowledge. It will not be enough to be technically super intelligent if we will not understand it, if we will not get the opportunity actually to be able to understand it. So it is education definitely as the first answer to your question.
Okay, thank you. We are going out of time. We are approaching the very end. And I just want to have Quentin and Heidi say something very direct to them, like Job said, stay foolish, stay young. I mean, that we want, we need, we would like to. So Heidi, what would you suggest to the kids who are listening to all of us?
Honestly, I can only repeat what Simona said. It's like, learn about the technology and start using it, because it's not going away. It's here. It's only going to be even more present in our lives. And that's the thing. You need to, even if you're not technically inclined or you don't care about the coding part, you don't want to be a developer, software engineer. I completely understand you. I don't want to be one. I don't care. I tried to going through Python course several times. I give up halfway every time because simply it's not interesting for me. But for me, it's the other aspects of technology that are interesting, and that's what I'm really familiarizing myself with. So we need all the aspects, all the different fields, all the knowledge, the skills, the industries that exist nowadays. We need them to be part of the technology and the way we use it. And that's the thing with the generative AI now, it's becoming much more closer to everyone. It's not just the domain that is now warded off and exclusive to, I don't know, machine learning engineers or scientists. It's now really becoming available for everyone to start playing with it, to start using it. So simply use it and educate yourself.
Nice, thank you, powerful. And Quentin, I hope you will repeat what Sasha said, go to elections, but after elections, what do you do? Because it's 5 minutes to cast your vote. And then do what?
No, I mean, like, I think I joined like, actually, like, it has to be like regulated. That's for sure. Like the election is something that's like extremely important today. Like the unions is like something. My father was president of a union, you know. So like, like it's something extremely important, you know. Like that's for sure. Like the regulation are like extremely. That's what can make sure that like we are going to the right direction. We are not there yet, but like there are like a lot of people like actually like trying to make things happen. Like it can be like from some governments, not enough for sure, but like a lot of NGOs are also like trying to do it, and also like some private companies, like the private sectors, also like some of the companies are actually like there, like the tech companies, like a lot of them have like ethical ethics that are actually very high. Like the kids today, like the people that are coming to the job market have like a very strong ethics. So like you actually have like the power to actually make a difference, because as a person that actually recruits a lot of people, I can tell you that's like something, the company ethic is something extremely important today. And that's something that's actually like already changing. So like for this, that's my advice, like, is to make sure that like you go to the job, like you work for the people that actually like you believe in, because today it's something that actually like is possible. It was maybe like, no, you didn't have the choice maybe 30 years ago. Today, like you have the choice. And finally, yeah, like again, like execution is king. So like if you want to learn, like execute, you have to learn on the job. Try to use the technology today, like for free. You can use it. Like if you have a laptop, if you have like a mobile device, like in the Adriatic region, like we're like extremely lucky to actually have access to all of those devices, like to be connected like all the time. So like I think that's like everything can happen. Like there is like a large hope for this. So yeah, that's my point of view.
Thank you, and thank you all. I was really pleased to meet all of you. I knew just some of you, and I think you made a great panel for 1.5 hours. I think young people will watch it later or before the bedtime as a story. And I'm really glad, and thank you, Sasha, Simona, Quentin, and Heidi. There is no point for me to repeat everything you said. I agree with most of you. You have been a great contributor to this session. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And we are out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eran. All the best.